Hello. So for this video, guys, I want to talk to both the youth and the adults, right? Because as young people, I feel like it's really, really important to develop this habit and or break this habit early. And for my, adults, my young adults, because none of us are old, we're young adults, right? It's really important that if you've developed this habit over time, because I feel like most of us have, it's really, really important to break it. If you're trying to accomplish some type of goal, if there's something that's really, really important to you, you really want to accomplish it and master it, I feel like it's really important for all of us to learn it. So let's get straight into it. First things first, hi guys, my name is Michelle. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. If you are new here, welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for tuning back in. Let's get started. For this video, I want to talk about not giving yourself a free pass or a break, right? If there's something that you really, really want to do, don't give yourself a break. Now, let me explain, because I feel like in today's day and age of hustle culture and work, right? Many of us are told like you have to work. That has to be the number one thing on your mind. Trust me, I watched a lot of these videos on YouTube and it kind of got stuck in my head for a little while, but it can also be toxic. This hustle culture can actually get a little bit toxic. You have to know what works for you. You have to know your limits. And like we always say, like, don't limit yourself, but you need to know who you are. You need to get to know yourself. And does waking up early work for me? A lot of people aren't morning people. Whatever works for you, you need to get to know yourself. What works for you, what doesn't, what you can and cannot do. Of course, hard work is a part of achieving anything that you want to achieve, but also keep your health. Health is first and foremost the most important thing. Make sure you're nice and healthy, you're doing the right thing for you, and then go after your goals, right? Because there's no point in achieving something, but you're not good on your own, okay? What I am referring to is skill over talent. I am referring to something that you have to put work in to actually master versus being already naturally good at something and giving yourself a break because you're already good at it. Does that make sense? Now, the example that I have, and I felt like, oh my God, I have to make this video. And I even told them, I was doing a private dance lesson with one of my friend's daughters. She's amazing, by the way. I love that girl. And I love my friend. We're like two peas in a pod. But while she was dancing, I'm not sure exactly how she said it, but she said something along the lines of, it's okay. I know how to dance anyway. I don't need to like go all out. I don't need to practice that part anymore. Something like that. And I looked at her and I was like, don't ever say that, right? Because yeah, you may know how to dance. You may be a natural born dancer, but it doesn't mean that there's not someone out there willing to outwork you. Do not give yourself that break. Yeah, you may be great, but it doesn't mean that you can't be better. And so if you limit yourself to where I already know how to do that, you are limiting yourself. You're not going to your full potential and you're not expanding your knowledge, expanding your range of motion, expanding the skills or the talent that you already have. Whereas someone out there who might not be as great as you are, it's like, what's that story? The tortoise and the bunny, the rabbit. I'm not sure what the story is called, but it's like you could be the best at something because of pure talent. But there's someone out there who's not going to give up on themselves, right? And someone that has natural talent may give themselves those breaks because I don't need to practice that much. I'm natural at it. But you still need to build that stamina. You still need to build your skill, right? Skill beats talent any day. So there could be someone out there that's not as talented as you are, but they're willing to work on that skill and they're willing to outwork anyone that stands in their way. And I'm not saying work on that skill and look to the side to see if there's anyone that's trying to catch up to you. No. You work for yourself, right? You work as hard as you can on yourself for yourself. There's nothing like making yourself proud, staying in your lane, focusing on yourself. Trust me, I've been there. I've been that person that gave myself breaks, but I've also been that person who, no. We have to work at it. So like I said, yeah, I've been there and I still am there sometimes. And that's why I said in the beginning of the video, it's really important as an adult, if you've developed that habit, and you have goals that you want to accomplish, it's important that you break that habit. For example, I still am in that situation sometimes. If you really want to master something, you need to put in work every single day. And the reason why I said this video is more targeted, not necessarily more targeted, but It's a habit that should be developed early on. When you're young, you don't have the responsibilities that adults have, right? And I mean, depending on your circumstances, but most of the time when we're little, we have our parents taking care of us. Our main job is to go to school and do our work, right? But you're not paying bills. You don't have kids to look after. You don't have the responsibilities that's basically us adults have. And it happens a lot of the time where you procrastinate things. You think you have time, and then one day you wake up and you're like, holy crap, I'm older and I didn't do the things that I wanted to do, right? I gave myself breaks day in and day out because I figured I had time, or I figured I was already talented enough, but you still didn't get to where you wanted to be, right? Let's talk about YouTube. I've been wanting to do YouTube for a really long time, but I never prioritized it. I always figured, I'll get to it. It's okay, I'll do it later, right? But if you really want to master something, if you really want to be the best at something, you need to put in the work. Let's talk about dance. Personally, I've always had the rhythm to dance, right? It's something that always came naturally, but I never studied dance. I never learned technique when it comes to dancing. But what I did do, because I was passionate about it, like I said, I've always been a good dancer since I was little. But because I didn't have the classes, I didn't have anywhere to learn the technique, I pushed myself when it came to artists, right? When Selena's The Last Concert came out, I basically learned every single one of her moves. And from there, I moved on to Britney Spears, who had actual choreographers behind her performances. And from her, I went on to Christina Aguilera. And from Christina Aguilera, I went to Beyonce. And then I kind of just got stuck on Beyonce because, that's Queen Bee right there. Basically, what I'm trying to say is when you really want something, you have to go after it. And you can't give yourself breaks. I used to dance in my room for hours and hours, and I was the skinniest little twig that you could ever see because I was working hard to learn because I wanted to dance, right? But technically, I never took a dance class, and that wasn't until I was about 26. I took my very first beginner's hip hop class, and I was excited to go to my first class because I was excited and I was embarrassed because I was already grown, but at the same time, it's like, hey, I dance in my room. It shouldn't be a big deal. But once I got there, I realized how different it is to dance in the studio setting versus in my room, right? And so the very first time that I went, I was so intimidated by all the amazing dancers. I remember going there and taking my first class and feeling so intimidated, and I never went back. Let me not say I never went back. I went back months later, but I came home and I said, you know what? I need to take class, but I'm gonna take class in the way of, if you go on YouTube, guys, there's a YouTube University, okay? You can learn anything on YouTube. I started following Matt Stefanina. I started following Dana Alexa. I started following Wildebeest, Jojo Gomez, all these amazing social media LA or New York choreographers that I could follow because I wanted to dance like them, right? And so what I would do, because they're not necessarily free classes online, I would go through like from the beginning to the end and pause it here and there and learn the choreographies that way. And so that way I started working a little bit on my technique. And let me tell you, I used to record myself the very first time that I did it. And I would look at it and I'm like, this is so messy. Let me clean this up, right? So you have to work on it. Yes, I was a natural dancer, but that doesn't mean that I have the skills to continue dancing in the studio setting. So then once I started doing that and building up my dancing skills at home, I went back and I took another dance class. It was with a different instructor, but I felt so much more capable of picking up and retaining the steps and giving it my all because I had been working on myself day in and day out here at home. And it was an everyday type of thing that I was working. Girl, I lost weight. My body toned up. Again, I mean, of course, I was going to the gym as well, but my body toned up. I just felt so much better there. And my confidence built up. But that would have never happened had I given myself a break and been like, hey, I'm a natural dancer. I don't need to practice. No, we all need to put in more work, right? And the reason why I did this is because dance is really, really important to me. I love dance. I dance in my head all day, right? And even though I'm at an age where it's kind of like, I don't know that dance will be my career, it's something that makes me happy. And the reason why I did that is because dance is so important to me. Dance has always been a way of de-stressing myself. It's always been a way of making myself happy. And even though I'm not pursuing a career in dance, it's something that I love. It's something that I'm not willing to just let go of, right? So it's something that's really important to me, and I want to continue working on my skill. And this was back when I was, what, 26 years old. I'm 32 now, but I'm still dancing. I'm still working, and things happen and my body aches and I have back issues and all this stuff, but it's not something that I'm giving up on because I love it. And I'm not looking to the sides to see if anyone out there is better than me or if there's anyone that I need to beat. It's a me versus me type of thing. You know what I mean? So if there's something that you love and there's something that you want to work on, don't focus on I have the talent. Focus on how can I be better than I was before? Now, especially if you want to get a career in whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's dance, whether it's, I don't know, being a doctor, whatever it may be, don't give yourself a break. I remember there was a video that I did when I was dancing, I believe, to like, I don't know if it was Beyonce's Homecoming. And as I was dancing, I messed up and I was like, let me start over. But in my head, I was like, no, I can't start over because Beyonce doesn't do this. Beyonce doesn't get the choice to start over. Like the show must go on. Beyonce can't do that. She can't mess up and So whatever it is that you're doing, work on it. Do your best to master it. Perfect it as much as you can. It doesn't mean it's going to be perfect. It just means that you're working to perfect it as much as you possibly can. Work ethic is everything. Get out there, do you, and don't stop working on yourself. Again, day in and day out, you cannot. The moment you stop working on yourself, the moment that you decide it's okay to stop moving forward, you're technically moving backwards because time doesn't stop, right? So don't give yourself those types of breaks. Not saying don't ever give yourself a break. If you have an hour of practice, if you have an hour of studying, go all in within that hour. Get rid of any distractions. Get rid of people who distract you. Get rid of anything that doesn't help you move forward in whatever task you're trying to complete. If you have an hour, if you have 2 hours, however you have 30 minutes, give it your all and don't, pardon my French, bullshit yourself, right? Because if you don't make it, if you don't get where you want to be, at the end of the day, it's on you. It's not on anyone else. And I'm not trying to be harsh. I'm just being real. Life waits for no one. Time waits for no one. If you're going to give yourself a break, I'm sorry. If you don't get to where you want to be, that's on nobody but you. So, especially if you're a young person, don't ever get into the habit of saying, hey, I'm already good enough. There's no such thing as good enough. Good enough simply means that you've barely surpassed the level of not good, right? So work to be extraordinary, to be exceptional. Do you know what exceptional means? It means that you're the exception. Okay? You are the exception to the rule. Be the exception. Work so hard that shit, people are proud to see you, to know who you are, right? Be the exception. Work hard on yourself. Be the difference that you want to see. As cheesy as it may sound, because girl, you sounded cheesy, but it's the truth. Be the exception. Be the change. Work on yourself and show others. Show others that are coming behind you that it's possible to actually get to where you want to be because you worked hard. And here's the reality of things. No one can do it for you. Okay? And that's both harsh and beautiful at the same time because your life is in your own hands. Your success is in your own hands, right? You can take it as far as you possibly want, but you have to work hard for it. And the moment you start giving yourself breaks, you're basically just taking steps back. So don't give yourself breaks. And I speak from experience because I know that I could have been further along, for example, in my YouTube journey, if I really applied myself and I worked hard and I didn't give myself breaks and I worked on this day in and day out, right? But like I said, when you're an adult, time is not the same as when you were young because you have so many other responsibilities. And I don't have kids, okay? I don't have children, but I have other things that I work on. As a youngin', take advantage of your time. Work on your craft. Work on whatever it is that you want to accomplish. Whatever it is that you like, work on it. If you have an idea in your mind of what it is that you would like to do with your life, work on it. Don't give up on yourself. And definitely, like I said, I sound like a broken record. Do not give yourself breaks or a pass. And if you are an adult like me, old habits die hard, but it doesn't mean that it's not possible. it doesn't mean that you can't make a change in your life anymore. It simply means that you'll probably have to work a little bit harder. But at the end of the day, hard work works. And once it works, there's nothing like being proud of yourself because you put in that work. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. If you think it's helpful, go ahead and share with your friends and family if you care. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Thank you so much. Bye.